Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode from Gcse, your one-stop shop for all things books, beards and beyond. In today's video I'm going to give you some last minute revision tips and hints for the upcoming Eduqas Gcse English Language Paper 1 Fiction Reading and Fiction Writing. But before I continue, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that thumbs up, be sure to share this with all your friends, drop a comment if you have any questions. The Gcse guarantee is I will get back to each and every one of you. Also, in case you didn't know, Gcse is available on Instagram and TikTok too. Hope to see you there. So let's begin. I'm going to start with the essentials of the paper itself in the general sense. Then I'll move on to the reading section and finish with paper 1B, which is the fiction writing task. So, a couple of essentials you need to know about this paper. Unlike maths, where there's higher tier and foundation tier, like the literature papers, it is linear. So the extract you're provided with, and you'll be provided with an extract from a story, is going to be of a middling level of difficulty, a middling level of comprehension. In addition, the questions go in order of difficulty. The demands on the questions become increasingly more challenging as the paper goes along. So it's essential you want to make sure that your timing is right. I'll get onto that in more detail soon. Also, if you'd like a more detailed run through of this paper, I do have a video on my channel, so make sure you go see that there. So now to my classes, I call this the lines paper. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean to say that in the reading section, when you're provided with the text, there will be a series of questions relating to specific lines from the extract. So what you want to make sure you do is grab a ruler and then line off each specific area where the question is asking you to answer, because there are no marks awarded for anything outside of those lines. That's essential. So for example, if it says read question 1, read lines 1 to 8, the marks are all in 1 to 8, so make sure you do that. Now, first things first, we've ruled off the piece, we've ruled off the extract, we are ready to answer the questions. There will be 5 questions you have to answer in the reading section, and those questions go in order of difficulty, as I mentioned before, so make sure you are absolutely gaining the time in the right direction. In addition to this, what you want to make sure you're doing is doing the right thing with each question, looking at what the demands are and track through the questions, particularly questions 3, 4 and 5. You want to say at the start of the lines or the passage, later on in the lines passage, towards the end of the lines of the passage. In the reading section, quotes mean marks, so make sure you get enough quotes in there. For example, question 1, it says list 5 things usually. You can list 6, you can list 7, you can list 8. It just means there are a maximum of 5 marks, so you'll end up maxing out somewhere along the line if you put more. But try that. Try to get those marks. And as I mentioned before, we're looking for roughly 5 quotations in question 1, 4 quotations question 2, but then we do a little dig on one of those. In questions 3, 4, 5, approximately 7 quotations, maybe 8 quotations, of which we have digging going on there. When you read it back to yourself, particularly questions 3, 4, 5, it should feel like hurdles that we're just hopping through, jumping through quotations with regular frequency and broad range. So to summarise, we rule off the lines first of all on the question. We make sure we get enough quotations in there, and we make sure we get enough time when it comes to questions 3 and 4 and 5. Now, on to the writing section, but before I do, don't forget, if you have any questions, drop me a comment. Gcse guarantee is I will read each and every one of them, and I'll get back to as many of them as I can. So the writing section, you will be given 4 prompts. You pick one of the 4 prompts, and what you do with it is you create a piece of fiction writing. Now, in my lived experience, the best pieces have the following 4 things going on. 1, they have a simple, relatable plot. 2, they have a clear beginning and ending. No cliffhangers, just avoid that. We don't want that. 3, said beginning and ending are based on a state of emotion or feeling. So happiness to sadness, nervousness to joy, whatever that might be, your character must follow an arc, follow a pattern and progression. And 4, it is essential to make sure that you're not doing a Hollywood plot. It's something relatable, something simple, ideally something that takes place within a matter of hours, say an afternoon or an evening, that sort of thing. Don't forget, this is worth 40 marks. It's worth 20% of the entire qualification, so it's a huge piece, but it is doable. Make sure that you are going back through, checking for spelling, punctuation, grammar, technical accuracy, all those things as well, because AO6 is worth 40% of the marks. It's worth the 16 marks there. And if you have time, depending on how it goes, make sure that you are looking back through the piece. Check back through. Is everything right in a technical sense? Does my piece follow a certain progression? Have I got my spellings right? All these little details, all play a part. But that's it as far as my advice for today is concerned. Be sure to drop a comment if you have any questions. Take care, all the very best, and bye-bye.